that good?
Yeah. I think so.
Where it's supposed to be?
Yes, you're right where you're supposed to be.
All right. That's weird. That's not normal.
I know, that's really. That's abnormal for us, Larry would say. So, so cool. All right, where we're going. So, uh, come up with anything this week? Started your new job?
Yeah. So welcome to the Two Old Goats.
Yeah.
I'm Tom. This is.
Richard?
That's right. So yes, I did start a new job today, and it's interesting is I was kind of meditating on the way here,
Mm-hmm.
and what you were just talking about is you're right where you're supposed to be at.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's an interesting thing to discuss tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Right where we're supposed to be at.
Yeah.
Being comfortable, uncomfortable, right?
Yeah. Oh, I think so. I kind of, ties into what some thoughts I've had on, kind of this morning and then on the way over, but really hadn't formulated it or put it into anything. But coming off of, yesterday it seemed like we were in the book study for a little bit, and then we did the meeting, and it was pretty, to me, the same message because we were essentially in the same place. And
Mm-hmm.
the part about the third step, to me, lately the biggest thing, if I can get somebody to understand, say the problems are coming from me, not at me. And, that responsibility of, I can't put this on anybody else. And the fact that that's a good thing because I can change me, but I can't change anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of meditating on that this morning, and um, just taking that full responsibility, and kind of came across this thought and just chased it down a little bit. And I don't know, I may have heard it somewhere. I'm not real sure, so I'm not trying to rip it off, but maybe you've heard it, I'll tell you. But it just came to mind, and the question was, you know, the life that you're living right now, the way you're living it, where you are in your life, the way you're living it today. If God stopped and said, okay, I'm going to grant you your dreams,
Yeah.
could your life support that?
My dreams.
Yeah. You kind of, I give it some thought, and then I'll kind of tell you where I'm going with it. But I don't know, that's an interesting thing. In other words, it made me think of Goggins says he's not getting ready for an event or something; he's staying ready.
Right.
So
That's
kind of along those lines is what I'm thinking, and then how we can go from there.
well. I like that the way you're thinking, but I think when you first say that, could your life sustain your dreams?
The way you're living it now,
Right? The way you're living right now, the way you are, where you are right now, could it sustain your dreams? I would want to change that word dreams,
right?
because dreams to me, the whole concept of just a dream, the definition of dream to me is just
Right.
lofty and, you know, but where I want to be.
Yeah. So
right?
your ultimate goals.
My ultimate
if that
goal,
helps.
right? Because I thought about that a while ago. I think you and I talked about it. I don't know if I have any dreams,
Right.
right? But I do know where I want to be,
Right. Right.
right? So then, if I look at it that way, I know where I want to be. So if I'm living this way, would my life, the way I'm dealing with my life, the way I'm living right now, sustain where I want to be? Absolutely not.
Right.
Right? There's no way.
Yeah.
Right?
It wouldn't work.
Because where I want to be is limitless.
Right.
I got too many fucking limits.
Right.
I can't live there yet.
Right. So
it ain't gonna work.
Okay. So next question.
Mm-hmm.
is, I mean, when they say you only get one life, maybe that's true. I don't know. Um, you know, a lot of times we ask, the spirit or God or whatever our belief is, we ask for things or pray for things. And I think a lot of times we don't get them because we're just not ready for them, and it's just, I think in the preparation, we were talking about the journey somewhere earlier, but somewhere in the journey, we become ready for certain things and they appear. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, the prayer concept, I mean, it goes back to, I think it's Matthew 7. It's about ask, seek, knock, right? If you ask, you shall receive. I think the issue is you don't know what you're asking for, right? That's what the whole premise of the ask, seek, knock, right? It's, okay, I'm going to ask for this, but now I need to start seeking.
Right.
I need to start knocking, right?
Right. You got to do some work.
I got to do some work to what I'm asking for. So if I sit here and pray, oh, I just wish I had $1 million, right? I'm not going to get it because I wouldn't know what to do with $1 million anyway.
Big responsibility.
Right? I'd end up hurting myself more than helping myself.
Or hurting other people.
Hurting a lot of people.
By thinking you're helping them.
Yeah, I mean, I hear a lot of people say that, oh, if you just pray, you'll get what you pray for. Mm-hmm. I don't believe that. I believe you're gonna get what you need where you're at.
Where you are.
Yeah. Right? Now, if you're willing to move some things, if you're willing to stand up, if you're willing to get busy,
right,
there's a good chance you can get that shit. Yeah. It's there if you want it.
Yeah.
But the prayer part, that's just talking. Now we need to get busy.
Yeah, definitely.
There was another thing that you were talking earlier, and I want to get back to this whole moving forward, asking, getting what we receive, but you had said something that we can only change ourselves. We can't change others around us, and the problems in our lives are coming from us, not to us.
Right.
And I did some meditating on that because I'm like, so the problems that are in my life are because of it's coming from me, right? Mm-hmm. And my first initial response is, that's fucking bullshit. Right? Because I walked in that room, I had nothing to do with anything. But now I got a whole fucking plate full of problems.
Right.
Not one of them came from me.
Yeah.
Right? But I think it's all about perspective. Okay? If the problems are coming from me, that literally means that I don't have the skills, the guidance, or the experience to deal with what's on my plate. So now that's why it's a problem from me.
Right.
If I have the skills, the knowledge, the experience, that's no longer a problem. It's an opportunity.
Okay.
Right? So then I would look at it differently.
Right.
I wouldn't walk in the room and go, oh my God, look at all this fucking shit around me. Yeah. Right? I'd like, oh my God, look at all this great stuff around me.
Right. Well, I think either way you perceive it, it's an opportunity.
It is.
If you don't perceive it that way, it is.
Well, it is, but that's where we have the mindset, is it a problem or an opportunity? Right? That's why when you say all problems come from you, it's because you lack knowledge, experience, skills.
Well, or more than that, discipline.
Right? Well, the discipline goes with all that stuff, right? I mean, you can have a vision and still have a problem.
Well, yeah, for sure. Well,
if you lack the knowledge, experience, and skill.
Well, opportunities and problems, yeah, same thing. I mean, let's agree they trade off. But I think too, if you don't have any problems, maybe you don't have a vision. Maybe your vision's not big enough. You're just happy where you are.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I think the reason why I'm saying it this way is because there's people out there that when we say to them, you are where you are because of you,
right?
All the problems that are in your life are coming from you, not to you, right? Mm-hmm. To guide them to see it that way, we have to let them know that it wouldn't be a problem in your mindset, in your eyes,
right?
If you put in the work, if you have the discipline to try things out and change your perspective
Right.
that this is an opportunity for me to learn. This is the opportunity for me, right? Because we have a lot of people that just have this mindset that's just boom. I can't see outside that shit.
Right.
Right. And I think that's where we lose a lot of people, including myself. I mean, when someone comes to me at times, especially if I'm not doing my part, if I'm not meditating, if I'm not aligning myself with the will of my higher power, right? And you come to me and say, you are where you are because of you, my initial response is, fuck you.
All right.
Right? Now, if I align myself where I'm supposed to be at, right? You come to me, you are where you are because of you. Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah.
Great. I'm all about it. Let's do this.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So how do we get more of us more often to have that mindset?
Yeah.
How do we do that?
Pain.
Pain and the suffering, right?
That's what it is. I think, you brought up perspective, and I think perspective is obviously it's a great thing to point it out, or to help change your mindset or change things, be able to change your perspective. But I think too, the way maybe our perspective on time,
Mm-hmm.
because do we act like we have, number one, all the time in the world, every day, so we're not really working on what a goal is, or have we not even formed a vision?
Right.
And then, but not to get to the point of thinking of time, there's basically, I think in the Bible, it talks about two different types of time.
Mm-hmm.
Chronos, chronological. I think the other one's Kairos.
I'm not sure.
But anyway, that's the time. That's like God time, Jesus time. In other words, I think that the theory is chronological is, I got up this morning, did my walk, did my smoothie, blah blah blah, went to work, shot. This is the order I did it. But I think the Kairos is more of being present, and then not so much worried about that. I'm running out of time. I need to hurry up and get this done, or whatever. But understanding time's going to fill up space. Like when time comes, everything's going to be there.
Right.
So I think where we miss the boat sometimes is getting all wrapped up in that, timeline, chronological time. And we don't think sometimes, well, in all this rush, am I preparing, for when the, event or whatever happens, whether it's the next stage of your life, or whatever, or realizing a goal or dream, whatever.
Right.
I have to prepare for that. I can't just sit on the couch and watch mind-numbing TV that tells me when to laugh and shit like that, and think, okay, well, God grants me my dreams. I'm ready for it.
Right.
You're not. You're not. I wouldn't, look at it this way. What percentage of the people who win the lottery are broke within 5 years?
Oh, it's enormous.
Yeah, I don't know what the
It's like
statistic
over
is.
80% or something.
Yeah, the last I heard it was, I think I heard somebody say it was over 70%.
Yeah,
It's
that's
probably more than that.
Arnold Schwarzenegger's book. He was talking about
he
that.
talked about it. Yeah, exactly.
The percentage is just astronomical how broke they are.
Right. See, they couldn't support their dreams,
Right.
their lifestyle, their thinking. And our lifestyle is our thinking.
Right.
The way we think, that's what we're going to develop in our life. So.
Well, yeah, and that goes to, supporting your dreams. If you're wanting to be financially free, you should probably be working with a budget.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Right.
You should learn to manage your money and say your money managing you.
Right.
And then that dream will come true. Mm-hmm. Well, you're like, oh crap. Because I do agree with you. The higher power says, yeah, it's here whenever you want it.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to do X, Y, Z to get it.
Right.
There's certain things you have to do.
Right. Well, it's like everybody not a lot of our people we talk to, they're afraid to pray for patience. They tell you,
Right.
oh, whatever you do, don't pray for patience.
Right.
To me, what a bunch of pussies. Pray for patience. What's God going to do? He's going to give you the opportunity to practice.
Right.
But if you want patience, you have to practice at it. He's just not going to go, ding, you got it.
Right.
You have to build that up. And I think the same way with, having the faith in the time and the time being ready is, number one, I have to be doing my part.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm pretty confident that, I'm doing what I can do to get ready. And so when whatever event happens that I was hoping will happen, or I'm working towards, it will happen because I'm ready for it to happen.
Right. I think
and everything around me is ready for it to happen.
that word patience, I think, is just a bullshit term, to be honest with you. I think the truth behind that is if you're busy doing what you're supposed to be doing, there's no such thing as patience.
Yeah.
Right? The only reason why patience even comes into an existence is because now I have expectations.
Right.
Right? I expect to have a easy ride to work today. And then shit doesn't happen that way. And I'm supposed to work on my patience. But the truth is if you left a little bit early, right? Or you had a plan of what you're going to do, there's no such thing as patience.
Yeah.
Right? It's just a failure of your expectations is what that really is. So get rid of your expectations and maybe fucking prepare a little bit more.
Right.
Like
we're back to preparation.
Right.
So what are you doing with your grace period or your downtime?
There you go.
So
the solution to patience is preparation. H.
Preparation H. Yeah.
Well, I guess if you don't do preparation, you'll be needing preparation H.
There you go.
That should be a sponsor.
That's it.
Preparation H.
There you go. Or you're a little pain in the ass.
Rub it on your ass because you're talking a bunch of shit.
All right. There you go. I like it.
Well, going back to the whole goal or dreams and being where you're at, I'll give you for instance. So I'm working with some guys, some gals, and they're in this bubble, right? And they can only see inside that bubble. So when I go to talk to them and say, hey, we don't have to be here anymore, right? There's this whole other world over here that if you just do these 3 steps, right, or whatever it may be, you can be in this peaceful world over here. And their response to me literally was laughter. Some of them were laughing like, skepticism, criticizing, negativity. Like, there's no way, right? I've been here for so long, and we've never had that, right? Or they're laughing like, oh yeah, we've tried that before, But I keep telling them, I go, but I've seen the other side. I've lived over there,
right?
And I know where you guys are at. I've been there, but you've never been where I've been,
right?
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's that skill, that knowledge, that experience that they're missing.
Sure.
And so they have those covers on their eyes. They can't see the other side of things, the different viewpoint that they can get if they just put in the work. So how do you convince somebody to be willing to blindly do, to believe that there's something better next door?
Hey.
Okay.
That's
How do you convince them to go through that pain? Because right now they're suffering, right? The difference between pain and suffering is I choose to stay here.
Right.
The pain is growth.
Well, they're enduring the suffering because the pain is not enough.
Right. So now they decide to stay there. So the pain turns into suffering.
Right.
So how do you convince someone this is going to hurt a little bit?
Right.
But if you go through it, there's peace and serenity on the other side.
Right. Well, there's an opportunity for it.
Yeah. So how do you? I want you to tell me. How would you convince me?
Yeah.
You're about to hurt yourself. come on, let's
Yeah.
do it.
Really, all you can do is be candid with people and let them know. And if you can show them and they can see in your, your leadership qualities in
Mhm.
terms of, you seem to be living what you're talking about and they have faith in you and trust in you because you've built it up. I think you have to build a relationship first
Yeah.
for them to be willing to risk it. Uh, we joke around about the pain, but I think that's part of it. Even just the pain of you're talking about work environment. I mean, I remember when, in the restaurant business, one of the biggest things we ever did was just, I mean, the kitchen was clean, but I mean, organize it, clean it up, fucking label everything. Everything has a place, and that's where it is all the time.
Right.
And all of a sudden, the organization and the cleanliness and everything, it brought the tension way down. Because
Okay.
everybody's not stressed out about every little thing, but I think if you can, somehow get that message across to the people you're working with, they're going to get in enough pain where they're like, shit, I can't do this anymore.
Right.
Okay, great. Well, let's try it a different way because you can't do it that way anymore. So what's there to lose? But I think the first thing is they have to have built up some type of trust or relationship. Take that leap to blindly, as you said, blindly. I don't think they're blindly going to jump unless they're just in incredible pain. But um, I think they have a suspicion that somebody. This guy has some experience. He's built up some trust. I'm starting to trust him. What he's saying is,
Right.
he's done it before. I can see it. Blah 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 blah.
You know what I mean? I do, and I think
It gets back to that. You kept saying experience a while ago. Well,
Right.
a big part of that experience is I can't do all this shit by myself.
Yeah.
So I got to get some of these people on our team.
Yeah.
On our team.
Well, and that goes right with I remember early on working this program.
Right.
Right. I remember you came to me and I was at the point I was beaten enough. I'm like, whatever you got, dude.
Right.
You didn't have to. There wasn't much relatability. I didn't need to feel relatability.
No.
I was just like, my fucking hands are whatever you
Yeah.
got, dude. But I totally agree with you. I think sharing your experience with those other people, having that trust, that relatability, the camaraderie, right? They feel that, oh, this motherfucker's on my side, right? Once they feel that, then that's when you ask, and you just ask that question, are you done?
Mm-hmm.
That's the first question. Are you
Yeah.
done? If you're not done, I can't move forward.
Nothing you can do.
Right?
Yeah.
So once they admit, okay, yes, I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. That glimmer of hope in their eye is dismissed, right? Then the next question is okay, now that you're done, are you willing? If you're willing, you're about to do some shit you don't really want to do, right? You're willing, now let's get busy.
Yeah.
Right? Now we're going to set on a course of rigorous action.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where we get to that point. But to convince somebody that if they're done or not, I think that's the key point.
Well, it's you're talking straight out of working with others.
Right.
They have to, they have to get to that. Some of the work and some of the stuff they have to figure out on their own, but we can shorten the learning curve on that. But in the meantime, like you said, if they're not ready, they're not ready. They're not going to let go.
Right.
And they have to let go to go to something new.
Right.
So, again, to me, that comes back to being a leader too, is qualifying them. That's what we call it in the program, you qualify them. Is this person ready for this? Is this person willing to do some of the work that it's going to take? And in business, it, may get to where, okay, we're going to work with you, but, you may run out of, if you can't get with the program.
Right.
That's I'd say we go to that too quickly. That usually we can work stuff out unless somebody's just not working.
Right. Well, that's so. What we're talking about mostly is talking about the sobriety aspect of things,
Right.
right? But to move this and translate this into a business,
Right.
translate this into relationships, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know for a fact that who we surround ourselves with, who we work with, who we're in a relationship with,
Right.
will directly affect my sobriety, will directly affect my serenity, will directly affect my peace, right?
Mhm.
So when I'm starting to feel that pain, that suffering, right, then that's when I need to go to that person in the business or in a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Say, are you done? I mean, I know if I'm feeling it, surely you're feeling it,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Now I do know from experience there are some individuals that have been living in that suffering for so long
Mm-hmm.
that they're comfortable,
Oh yeah.
in that
Yeah.
shit. I myself,
Yeah.
I'm comfortable killing myself.
Yeah. C.S.
Right.
Lewis calls it the devil you know.
There it is, right? So now what do you do,
Yeah.
right? And from my understanding, from what I've experienced, is we kind of have to do, not kind of, you have to do like what Jesus said:
Yeah.
follow me or fuck
All
off,
right.
right? Because my sobriety, my serenity, my peace, my relationship with my higher power, my connection
Right.
is more important than that.
Oh,
More
yeah.
important than that
Absolutely.
business relationship, more important than that personal relationship. Because if I don't do something different, if I don't encourage them to do something different, it's going to kill me.
Right.
One way or the other.
Yeah.
Mentally, spiritually, financially, physically, whatever it may be, it's going to kill me.
Right. Well, I think going into it with the integrity of the, like we say, practicing these principles,
Mhm.
and that's the attraction. It's not what we say. It's the same in business. It's not necessarily what we say. It's what are we doing? Are we living it? Do people want to follow us? Because what they hear from us is the truth, and it's consistent. And we, hopefully, if you got to this point in management or in anything, you realize if you're managing someone or someone's working for you, the truth of the matter is you're working for them.
Right.
You're working to get their job so they can get it done, get it, you know, smoothed out and stuff like that. Yeah, they have responsibilities, but your job is to make sure they can do their job. You know what
Well,
I mean?
absolutely. Yeah. I'm not hired as a manager to manage people.
Right.
My job is to elevate people.
Right.
Right. If I have to manage somebody,
Yeah.
they're not the right person for the job.
Right.
Right?
Exactly.
Guide,
Same thing.
elevate, support, make sure they have the tools and resources. You know, um, I had a thought about the whole business side of things, and I remember I was talking to the people I'm working with right now, and so they're in that bubble of pain, suffering. Well, not pain because they've been in this position for so long, it's now suffering. They've chosen to stay where they're at, right?
And they got enough cash flow to cover it.
They got enough. Yeah. So my boss laughed a bit. He said, "You know what they call problems? It's with those type of people. It's called job security.
Yeah.
I just got so much going on. I can't keep up with it. Oh yeah,
Right.
But the truth is none of those have to be there.
Right.
So I said a saying to these individuals. These are the ones that laughed, scoffed, criticized,
Sure.
negative. Right. I said this saying to them, and I almost literally saw smoke coming out of their ears because their brains were working so fucking hard to figure out what I said. I said, listen, the truth is, this is the capital T. People will change or people will change. And that's all I said.
Yeah.
And I left the room. And I said, they were going crazy
Yeah.
with that concept, right? Because it is true.
Yeah.
Either that person's going to change, they're going to want to get out of that bubble and do something different, or we're going to have new people.
Right.
So people change,
Right.
or people will change.
Yeah, and it could very well be their choice as much as it is,
right,
the leadership. So, and probably if it's good leadership, it's going to be their choice to leave because they're just not comfortable there.
Yeah, I'm a big advocate of of the whole concept of push people up or
Right.
push people out.
Yeah.
Because that I'm grateful that I had an addiction that
Mhm.
kicked my ass so bad that it pushed me out
Right.
of where I was at. It physically, mentally, spiritually, financially pushed my ass out
100%.
into the sunshine of the spirit.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It kicked my ass in that.
Yeah.
So now, you were talking about accelerating their suffering to get them to move.
Mhm.
That's where we can come into place or into play and push them,
Yeah.
right?
Well, I think, don't get me wrong when I say accelerate or, they need to feel more pain. It's not that we really have to do anything a lot of times. What I've found is have to show them, give them a picture of where they are,
Mm-hmm.
where, um, whenever they're going through the pain, go, look, here's a mirror. This is where you are. This is what you're doing.
Right.
This is the same thing you did yesterday. And it feels worse than it did yesterday because you're frustrated because it's the same fucking thing.
Right.
So I don't know how you can do that in a nice way, but we don't have to make their work harder or anything. We just have to get them to see that they're really struggling,
Well,
and I mean, you can even take that. I guess the spiritual thing would be, we're fighting battles that have already been won, and that's kind of what those people are doing. They won't give up and say, "Oh, okay, well, you already solved this problem. What'd you do?"
right.
Okay, that's how we're going to do it.
But you said that word nice. How do we push them nicely? And I don't think, I think this, when we're pushing, I think it should be not about being mean or nice. It's a neutrality,
Right.
right?
Right.
We're making their being comfortable in uncomfortable, right?
Mm-hmm.
More uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Because the truth is there are some people out there that will choose to stay uncomfortable
Mm-hmm.
because that makes them comfortable, right? So we can push them up and they get the opportunity to change,
Mm-hmm.
or they're going to get pushed out because they're getting so uncomfortable being comfortable that they're going to take their shit and move to another company
Mm-hmm.
or move to another relationship, bringing those same challenges, bringing that same suffering wherever they go,
Right.
Because they can't imagine living without that.
Right. See, now you're already getting back to problems are coming from us.
There you go.
Not at us.
Yeah.
And that's what that person's going through.
It's all about their
And,
perspective,
we've all been there. I've done the same thing.
Yeah.
I've been in the spot,
right?
stuff like that. But yeah, it's the same thing in the program.
Mhm.
We see people a lot of times struggling, and it's if you stick around a while and you do any of this, helping other people, like really trying to help other people and make a difference. You'll find, first of all, the one who gets the most help is me.
Mhm.
And then after that, you kind of you get more of that, what was saying earlier, that Kairos time feel.
Right.
In other words, you're not trying to save them and all that. You're like, okay, that's where he is, this person is, or these people, whatever. And these are the steps that they're going to have to go through because I've been through them myself and I've seen, people they're going to have, get a little bit of success and get knocked back down, or they're not paying attention. And, Robert used to say, people get well too soon.
Right.
The pain goes away. One of my favorite things to say is your dog starts looking you in the face
Right.
again. Because we get so bad, our fucking dog won't talk to us. So that's that's where we take it.
Right.
And not everybody has to do that.
Yeah.
But they do have to buy in, and her responsibility, I think, is, and even in business, I don't think it's as much as everybody wants everybody to win and don't ever fire anybody and all that. I'm for that, right up until the point it stops working.
Right.
Because the bottom line is, you know, if I'm in a business, my job to the company is to help the company, you know,
Right.
in its goal, whether it's making a profit or whatever, but to be going towards that goal.
Right. Well, that's where that whole systematic, the whole process of going into in a neutral state of mind.
Right.
It's not personal. This is just
Right.
business. This is just a relationship. This is just where I'm at. Right.
Right.
Because I've had a situation where I had a manager that was really just fucking shit up, making wrong choices, treating others poorly. I mean, just a really horrific situation. Now, when I first came in, my first decision wasn't fire her immediately because
Right.
I truly believe that everybody should have the opportunity to step up, right? The opportunity to, hey, I don't have to be here anymore,
Right.
right? Well, I gave the opportunity. I like you're talking about, had that relationship, right? She sharded
Started.
she sharded all
Oh, how
over herself.
embarrassing.
No, she started to trust me,
Right.
and so I had her reading a few books. She started having a positive outlook a little bit, but she felt uncomfortable
Right.
being at peace,
Yeah.
and it scared the shit out of her.
Oh yeah.
So she relapsed almost immediately after reading a few books.
Right.
It was probably a couple months where she was like, "Oh crap, this is a whole other way of living," and it made her very uncomfortable. So she relapsed, started yelling at people again, treating people like crap, and I had to let her go. Right now, here's the craziest shit. When I said, "Hey, I have to release you. It's just not working out here," right?
Mhm.
She cried. Like,
Happy.
she was so happy.
Yeah.
She said, "Thank you." And I'm like, "What are you talking about? Thank you. I gave you the opportunity to fix it, but you didn't want to." She was, "I didn't know how to stay there.
Yeah.
But I knew I didn't want to be here.
Right.
And I'm not a quitter.
Right.
I can't quit."
Right.
Right? So then she went out. He almost immediately opened up the business of her dreams, started doing things. I mean, she colored her hair and was all happy and dancing, had all this TikTok stuff. She was living the life that she's always wanted.
All right.
Right?
Good for her.
Yeah. And it was just because I pushed.
Yeah.
She was either going to push to change to be a better manager with that company, or she was going to get pushed into another situation. Now, I had another person do the same thing, but they literally went from my company, treating everybody like shit, doing wrong things, living out of peace, right?
Right.
And went to another company and had the opportunity to keep living like that because she liked that. She didn't know what to do living any other way, right? I think you brought it up to my attention not too long ago, well, a while ago, about spouses and relationships when you're in a program, right?
Mhm.
When you're in a spiritual way of life and that person had been with you during the chaos.
Mhm.
And when that chaos goes away, they're very uncomfortable
Mhm.
because now they're looking at themselves. Now they have to look at their shit. They don't like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So they have to go somewhere else because they don't. So that's where a lot of people, when you start changing the way you truly live, when you start living in the sunshine of the spirit, that's really fucking bright for people that don't like being there.
Right. Well, yeah. The big thing with that is the couples and what we see a lot is one person is changing and growing and one person is not. And the person that's not, usually doesn't have a program or whatever. I mean, uh, it's obvious what's going to happen.
Right.
One person's growing, even if they're both growing. Say one's growing a little bit because she's not doing a whole lot, but he's not doing a whole lot, whatever.
You're probably right with the she thing.
Yeah, and then the other one is growing a lot because they're actively working on changing.
Right.
The program, they're learning the principles and they're learning to apply the principles that are working all the time, no matter what, whether we know it or not. But they learn to get lined up with them and get on the right side, and we start changing.
Right.
Well, that other person, even though they're maybe making some growth, it's really at a lot slower pace usually,
Right.
Unless something dramatic happens in their life, which they may not be ready for. But for the most part, it's we see people growing apart
Right.
or growing. One's changing and one's not, and then
Well,
you get to that point, and I think too, it's we don't know how different people. It takes different time. We see it happen in months. Now I see it happen in 5 years,
right.
10 years. With me, it happened. I was 15, 16. Well, it started happening when I was 14 years in sobriety. I mean, it was happening before that. I started noticing it then, doing whatever I could and trying to be encouraged and all that, and probably not being very good at that. But the problem was obvious to me because people were. I was in the group that was
Right.
spiritually seeking, and so that's the deal. We get to that point, and then you have to decide what to do after that. I think that's what you're talking.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And you talked about either there one's changing, one's growing, right? The other
Right.
one's not. But that goes back to what we were talking about is they're always changing,
Yes.
both sides.
Oh, yeah.
But you're either going this way or you're
Right.
going that way.
Right.
There's no staying where you're at.
Right. Oh yeah.
So that's why I believe if you are in a relationship or in a business or whatever entity it is, and you're moving, you're changing, right? If that other person's changing even slower than you,
Mm-hmm.
like if you're going 10 miles an hour and they're going about 2,
Mm-hmm.
right? Yes, there's some separation, but when you're going 10 miles an hour, you respect that 2 mile an hour.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
You see the progression.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
if
I'm
there's
cool
an
with
effort,
that. If there's effort.
that's the thing.
Right.
If there's an effort,
Once they stop,
getting up and going to work and doing the same shit I did yesterday, day in and day out, is not an effort.
that's not effort. No. You have to be doing something different every day. So if they do stop, they will immediately go in reverse.
Right.
And then that's where
we all do. We're never still.
correct. You're either going towards the sunshine or you're going towards the darkness. That's just
Willie says still is still moving to me.
there's still moving.
It's a sign.
Yeah. But well, sometimes I don't know. To me, I think for me personally, because I'm one of those extreme people,
Right.
I do have to go backwards considerably to get in enough fucking suffering to jolt myself
Right.
past a certain barrier or something in my life.
Right.
Usually it has to do with my fucking ego.
Right. Well, that's what I spent part of the day after that meditation I told you about. Can my life support my dreams? I spent, the rest of my day beating myself up going, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
I mean, holy shit. Wake up.
Yeah. No, I hear
It's
you.
not like you didn't know this.
Right.
Here's your sign. They used to say, Steve used to say, I'm talking to you, motherfucker.
Right. Right. Well, I had one of those situations probably about a month ago. I sent you guys a picture. I got a free kayak.
Oh.
I was super fucking excited about it too, because in my mind, where I want to be at,
Right.
I want to be able to go kayaking.
Oh, hell yeah.
I think it'd be fun.
Yeah,
Right?
I'll accept it. Well, go ahead.
So then I try to get in the motherfucker.
Right.
My fat ass.
Oh.
First of all, it took me an hour to get in it.
Right.
And I'm talking about I'm in a pool.
Yeah.
It's a controlled environment, right? And I got steps and everything. It still took me an hour to get in it.
Yeah.
Then for me to finally sit there, dude, it was so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
My belly wouldn't let me sit up.
Right.
I couldn't sit in it.
Horrible.
So you're absolutely right.
But your vision was you're going in that fast wire.
Oh yeah,
Down
my
the falls
thoughts,
and
yeah,
shit, doing flips.
my dreams.
Oh yeah.
My goal, right? Oh, dude, I'm like whitewater rafting. I got a backpack. I'm gonna go to Alaska.
Yeah.
Wrestle the grizzlies.
Right.
I can't even get in the motherfucker.
I know it.
And when I do get in it, I can't stay in it.
Right.
It's
I
horrible.
understand.
So no, I'm not where I'm supposed to be at.
Yeah.
But I am moving forward.
Yeah. Well, and that's the the $64 question or $60 million, whatever that show used to be. Is am I am I doing that? Am I getting ready? And then you know can I get ready and fucking like Goggins said, stay ready,
Right.
stay ready. When shit comes up and you're not ready, I mean you missed it.
Right.
That's God saying, did you want this or not? Are you sure you want this? Because fat ass is sitting on the couch, and
Right.
I don't think you'll be able to handle it.
Yep. No, absolutely.
Or you fucking haven't read anything new in a while, or you're not doing your homework, whatever the fuck.
Right.
You're not ready.
Yeah. Well, looking at that, and we were talking about the chronological time,
Mhm.
right? And you said I'm not familiar with the
Kairos.
I'll have to look
I
that
think
up.
I don't know if it's KYRO, KY. I don't know.
You got some.
Sounds like it.
Yeah. Oh no, Cairo.
It may be KAI. I'm not sure. But anyway.
Well, what I'm saying is the chronological. So when someone says you're not promised tomorrow,
Right.
right? My ego goes, you know who I fucking am? Dude, I should have died a long time ago.
Right.
I'm like almost invincible.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then I went to this seminar and this shit kicked me in my ass. On a big screen. I'm talking like a 30-foot by 30-foot screen, like at a movie theater.
Okay.
This person put, and I don't know, it was off a TED Talk or a book or something, but basically it showed from birth to death
Right.
with little dots.
Yeah.
Okay. And it was like, okay, so you're 13. It was like 13 dots, right? And they were saying like the average lifespan, right, of a human is like 75 years. So that's what they were saying. 75. So you had 75 little circles up there. They filled in 13. Oh shit, look at all those other dots left. You got plenty of time.
Mm.
So then they gave it to us to fill in the dots where we are. I'm 49 years old. So I filled it in. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
I don't have very many dots left. What happened to all my dots?
Right.
So that whole ego thing of, do you know who I am? Look what I've been through. Shit, nothing's going to kill me.
Right.
Came to a fucking brick wall.
Yeah.
Shit. I'm like one line of dots left.
Right.
I'm almost done.
Yeah.
And so the whole concept of get busy living or get busy dying really comes into play with that.
No, I see what you're saying. That kind of puts it in chronological time and maybe get your attention.
Yeah. Well, I think what it does is it shows you chronologically that you ain't got much more time.
Right.
So you better start switching over to the Cairo time.
Yeah.
So you start getting fucking busy.
That's it. That's the. Am I ready for what the Spirit has to offer? Yeah. And if I'm not experiencing it, whose fault is it? It's me.
All the problems come from you.
Who's the one who's not ready?
Right.
God. I mean, we have plenty of opportunity to be prepared. A lot. We refer to physical stuff a lot too, but it's everything. I had another thought while you were talking. You were talking about all these experiences, and some of us have been through a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of, like, if you wrote it down, and a lot of your stuff, especially, people are like, no,
right.
Really?
Yeah.
No. But, okay, here's the other end of that is I've been through a lot. Okay. Should have learned a lot.
Mm-hmm.
What have I done with it?
Right.
Am I able to turn that into anything? And I don't mean money. I mean, that could be part of that, but I mean, is my life better having been through that? Right. We don't look back and regret things because that's what got us here. Schwarzenegger was talking about, how much he loved his dad, and there was times his dad came home drunk and wore their ass out or whatever. But,
right.
Him and his brother would joke around about, how bad did you get it?
Right.
You know, how bad? Oh, you just got the belt. I got the buckle. And
Yeah.
they were laughing about it. But you know that's the thing is, I forgot where I was going with that. But anyway.
And you started thinking about getting your ass whooped, and you
Oh
forgot
yeah,
where you were at.
yeah. See, that don't jive with me. I'm not
Right.
into that.
Right.
I had lots of those growing up.
All right.
I had, guess what? Out of every ass whipping I ever got, and my dad believed in spanking.
Yeah.
And I got a few at school.
Okay.
And all the ones I got, you know how many I deserved? Every fucking one of them. You know how many I didn't get that I deserved? Oh, there was a lot.
Yeah. I got my ass whooped. I remember
Yeah.
in 7th grade, Mr. Patterson, he whooped me with
Yeah.
a paddle.
Oh yeah.
Fucking drilled holes in it so it was a better airflow.
Oh yeah.
And the thing is I didn't even get my ass whooped for what I really did.
Right.
He'd assumed that I did this other thing.
Yeah.
He didn't know about the other shit that I did. So I'm right with that. I'm right there with you. I deserved every ass whooping.
Yeah.
If I needed it or not.
Right.
You know,
and I can translate that into regular life. Every ass whooping I got, I earned it. I asked for it. I put myself in place for it.
Yeah. You know, you were talking about God's waiting. He's presenting all that stuff, right? And it brought me to a thought. There's that one story about the guy that's going through the hurricane flood. He's sitting on the roof of his house, and here comes this boat, right? A little canoe comes up and says, "Hey, jump in. I'll save you."
Right.
He's like, "No. I prayed. I'm waiting for God.
God's gonna save me."
Right? Then a big tugboat shows up. Come on, get in here. He's like, "No. I prayed. I'm waiting for God."
Yeah.
Then the helicopter comes, drops a rope down. Come on, let's go.
Yeah.
Nope. And he fucking dies.
Yeah.
So when he goes in front of God, he's all pissed off. The hell? I prayed for you to come. And God's like, dude, I sent you a canoe, a tugboat, and a helicopter.
Right.
What more did you want?
What more did you want?
And the reason why I was thinking about that is this is where we have to look about who we're surrounding ourselves with, right? You really have to keep your eyes and your ears open. I was talking about our limitations, right? Mm-hmm. So I can't get in this fucking canoe or this kayak because I'm fat, right? Mm-hmm. And I put myself there. Nobody else fucking force fed me, right? I think Chris was talking about, little Chrissy was talking about how nobody forced him to go to the buffet.
Right.
He walked himself over there. Right.
Nobody 3 times, 4 times.
Right.
5
Nobody
times.
forced me to go to the buffet.
Yeah, I've been there. I've done that.
They strongly encouraged it.
Yeah.
But I'm the one that got up and walked over there.
Yeah.
So then I'm sitting there and
no more food for you.
Right.
You eat enough MSG to kill an elephant.
No more broccoli. So but it takes me to the whole mindset, right? So I look at myself and you're saying, well, God's ready whenever you are. That's fucking bullshit because I don't know what's right to eat and I don't know that. But then I have to stop and look at myself. And I got to think about the canoes and the tugboats and the helicopters that were already sent.
Right.
I've had a nutritionist in my life that I sat next to for almost a year.
Right.
And she's like, hey, maybe you might want to try this.
Yeah.
What? I prayed to God.
Right.
I'll wait for God, ma'am. Right?
That's old. That's old, out of date information.
Yeah, I prayed to God. I don't need you, right?
The new stuff is I can eat all the potatoes and gravy I want.
I got, I've had a few people that, very extreme athletes. I have mentors that I've read, David Goggins, all this stuff. Here's all these answers, right? And I'm like, no. Waiting for God. I prayed for God. So when I die because I'm obese, right? And I go to God and I'm all pissed off, he's going to, dude, do you know what I put in front of you? Right?
Yeah.
Fuck, I didn't see it.
Man. Yeah, that's it.
So we really do have to keep our eyes and our ears open, man. All the answers are right there.
Yeah. I'm talking to you, motherfucker.
I'm talking to you. I'm talking to shit. So
that's it.
All right.
I agree. Yeah, that's I don't know. I think we pretty much covered that. I think there's a lot more to that Kairos time frame mindset.
Yeah.
you know. But I think it's going to be it's something kind of new that I'm thinking about. But I think it's probably going to take some time. I think that's the way.
Which kind of time?
Yeah, good point. Good point. Uh, it's going to take me some chronological time to. I mean, you have to practice it.
Right.
It's like anything else, you know. My default way of thinking, and changing that perspective, it takes some effort.
Right.
And you know, like we say, you got to do something different.
Mm-hmm.
So that's. I think you know that's the way Jesus thought. He would say a lot, especially you know we just got through Easter, and that's a big Christian time and all that Passover, and Jesus going through that you know several times in his life. You know when you read the Gospel, like he was about to get killed or somebody was about to sneak up on him or something.
Mm-hmm.
The disciples were worried about his safety, and he was like, "It's not my time."
Right.
You know, and it wasn't that he was thinking, you know, on April the whatever, 28th or March the 13th, whatever, it's
Right.
going to be my last day. He just knows it's not my time because I have more work to do. Until it gets to where all of a sudden, you know, in the Bible it says, okay, I'm ready to go.
Right. Now it
And
is.
they're going to take me. And his disciples don't have a fucking clue what he's talking about.
Right. Well, and if you follow it, I mean, he kept moving.
Right.
He was always moving.
Right.
Right.
Well, he was very, what do you call it? When you're, you know, you're focused and pointed at something, you're on point, you're moving with purpose.
Right.
Very purposeful.
Right.
In
Yeah.
what he was doing.
Yeah, there wasn't.
But he wasn't
anything.
in a hurry.
No, you never.
He fucking called him about Lazarus. Hey,
Right.
your brother's about to die over here. He's like, oh, fuck him. I'll be there in a few days.
Right. Right. Well, and that's the thing is, yeah, you don't hear a lot. Well, he jogged to here.
Oh,
right?
yeah, yeah.
He took a bus over here.
Right.
No,
he wasn't in a hurry.
No, he went with purpose. He knew he was going to get there when he was supposed to.
Right.
Right. But that had to do with a lot of preparation.
A lot of preparation, and you know, I guess the more preparation is like confidence and faith,
right,
and belief, all that stuff. Takes practice.
Yeah.
You know.
I agree. Well, I have to do some more research on the Cairo. I now that you keep talking about it, it does ring a bell. I don't know specifically where it is, but I will do some research, and maybe that can be one of our topics. And
yeah, it seems like it was. I want to say Older Testament. I don't remember.
Yeah. But we'll do it, and then maybe that can be one of our topics that we discuss and how we can put it into practice and change our mindset, going from the chronological human part,
human time.
Right.
That's a good way to put it. That's what it is.
Into the spiritual
human time.
Right.
Because God time, it's here and now.
Right.
What time is it now?
Where are you? There's no beginning. There's no end. It's
right now. All right. That's it.
All right. Good.
So
I think that's it.
Okay.
All right. I
think
that was
talk
a good
about
one.
anything else?
Did I talk about how awesome my underwear is?
No. Tell me about it.
That'll be for another.
Oh, come on.
Now. I have this underwear.
Right. What's
it's called David Archer underwear.
Yeah.
It's called.
Be a good sponsor.
Yes.
David Archer.
It's
we support you.
Dual sack underwear.
Dual sack.
Well, it's like there's one sack that's like a little mini hand that holds your testicles. And then you have a hole
holds the boys
where it just holds them comfortably.
Right.
And it separates it because you put your dick through the hole and it has another pouch that holds your dick. It's really nice.
Okay.
I mean, there's not too many people that say, I keep my balls and my dick separated.
Right.
Right? It's
so what's the
So the big thing is you're walking all day, so it helps prevent chafing. Okay. Your dick is separated from your balls, so it's not laying there sweating all day long. Right? It's a nice, comfortable sack.
Right.
Almost silky, but it's bamboo. It's breathable. So
it's bamboo. See, you didn't tell me that shit. I always knew you were into Asian.
Right? it's wicking, so it wicks away the sweat, so your dick stays dry, your balls stay dry. It's all just it's an amazing experience.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have to
But-
check it out.
Yeah, yeah. Or you can stay where you're at, wherever you want.
Till I get enough pain.
It's up to you. You can choose to be chronologically wrong in your underwear,
Right.
or you can join the spiritual way of life.
Right.
Where balls and dicks are separated.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know about all the segregation.
All right, brother.
Okay.
That's all we got. Thank
Good
you.
stuff.
All right. Check off.
Good.
Check off. Bye.